What's up, everybody? So, the Primaris Captain and Librarian came out, and I was hoping that the local gaming store would have both, but they only have the Primaris Captain in stock. So I'll eventually get the Librarian and do a little video like this for that in the future, because why not? But this is, you could say, the first proper set of Primaris kits, because before this we had the Dark Imperium, which is basically introductory box set level and in essence a precursor to the easy to build kits. And then you had the easy to build kits, I believe launched with these guys, in terms of either launching with them or right after, I forget exactly when, but that's when we got the intercessors, and as I say, rivers, because I just don't want to call them reavers. That's the pure reason. So anyways, we got those easy to build kits, and as a result, yeah, they're plastic kits, but they're not what I would call regular full-on kits. And I feel like the Primaris Captain and the Primaris Librarian were our first foray into true kits. Granted, it makes one model more of an HQ blister clamshell style, which has kind of been the thing, so it's not a full-on multi-part plastic kit like a squad would be, but it's, I think, more officially, or more of an official kit than easy to build in my opinion. So anyway, with that said, you get it in a little box. It's not just a blister anymore, and we'll get to the contents of the box in a moment. So we'll slide that to the side real quick. Wanna, as boring as it sounds, go over the box. It's not a bad box. It's not that big, you know, basically the size of a hand. On the back, it gives you an example of how to paint it for like Ultramarines in this case, color scheme for some stuff. Pretty nice. And it's a dauntless superhuman leader. So there you go. That's your description. But it shows you different head options. It shows you the sculpted detailed shoulder pad there, and that's the side art. Fun stuff. But anyway, the packaging is definitely part of why it's like 35 bucks. It's good secure packaging though. I mean, it's not that I'm looking for good secure packaging, but it definitely feels like a step up from what GW has packaged in the past for one Citadel miniature for HQs. So when you open it up and you take it out, you're greeted with this. Now this is a nice little intro, but I guess you could call it an intro to the Primaris Captain a little bit. What I really find interesting is how it highlights how to build it in the manual. That is this, how the pieces go together. If you look, the shin armor you can see on the legs is separate from the rest of the leg armor. I find that interesting. I think that shows potential, you could say, for maybe chapter upgrade bits, where you get parts you can glue there for a chapter. I don't know, I highly doubt it, but the potential is there, and I wouldn't be surprised if eventually, give it some time, but if eventually third-party communities out there make bits that kind of fit there, I wouldn't be too surprised. But anyways, it looks like a pretty nice how to build type of setup here. And let me get to the one that's in English. That was easy. You have a little stat line thing here and information on the dude included, which is always nice. Now, when you read this, it says these essential rules will get you your new unit on the battlefield, but the full rules for the unit, you got to use the codex or index book relevant to your army. I find that interesting. I wonder if that means there's potential in here for further options or the like for your captain. Considering there's going to be relics of war in the codex, as they stated in the Warhammer community, maybe there's an option for him to replace his power sword with whatever. So that'd be pretty cool to see what goes on that way. But that's just your instructions and a little data card, if you will, to get you started with the character. And then you get this plastic bit. So it's, again, very neatly packaged, very secure, to be honest. And part of the whole price being 35 bucks for one of these guys, I'm on the fence of thinking, you know, clearly it's higher money than I would like. Uh, I would always like to spend less money to buy models, but I don't know. It doesn't feel out of the, outlandish quite yet. An extra $5 would make it feel outlandish, to be honest, but it doesn't quite feel too outlandish, to be honest. It's a mixed bag, and that's just my thoughts there. But anyway, we get the two sprues out. And we get one, a two, and we'll get to those in a moment. And then you get the base for the model right there. Pretty standard basic base. Not much to say there. And here is the decal sheet. Very tiny. Only for ultramarines. This is one thing I don't like. Regular Space Marine stuff has had things like this too, and I find it kind of lame. But what you see here, it's a character transfer sheet, and we see the captain, librarian, lieutenant, and then this came out before the images, or that image I did that ramble on. This came out weeks before that, so this is where we saw the apothecary and chaplain were going to be an actual thing. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's how tiny the transfer sheet is. Now, these sprue proper. Good detail. The bolt rifle is done in an interesting way where, depending upon the bits you put on it, it could be viewed as a stalker or an automatic bolt rifle or anything like that. The shoulder pads are separate, which is sweet, and if you look at them, I don't have a standard shoulder pad to compare it to, but it definitely looks like a standard size shoulder pad. So it definitely looks like something you could take out of your bits box for your own force. Let's say you're doing Blood Angels, you want a Primaris Captain, you can get a Blood Angel shoulder pad and you'd be just fine. I plan to replace this basic shoulder pad. I have actually shoulder pads on order, but I'll just leave it at that. And I'll still use the detailed one though, because it's a pretty cool shoulder pad. Anyways, the backpack, pretty standard fare. The head options there. What's cool is you could technically say you get 3 options for the head. You get a bare head, you get the helmet, which doesn't need to have the crest on it, and then you can put the crest on if you want to, so that's cool. Use your sword or your pointing finger. One thing I want to do, I haven't checked it to be honest, looking at the pointing finger, I want to look at the size of this in relation to standard powered armored hands and Terminator hands, just out of curiosity to see what is closest to. Because if you find that out, then you could kind of expand your horizon in terms of bits you can either have or order to maybe give a different looking weapon to your captain or what have you. Anyway, the other sprue has his cape, which if it wasn't for the fact that you kind of have the tassels and stuff already pre-sculpted onto the front of the torso, you could do without it. The back of it isn't set up where it needs to be on there. It doesn't feel like it. So who knows, maybe you could kit bash another Primaris torso front that doesn't have the rope tassels if you don't want a cloak. But it's got the cloak bit on there. It's got the torso, basically part of the leg, and you can see there how it goes together differently. You got the shin armor for the legs separate from the rest of the leg. So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere down the line you see some third-party companies make this bit with some details on it. Maybe. I mean, or Forge World do something like that in the future also. You never know. Maybe even GW itself. But anyways, that's what you get in the kit. Very straightforward. You can see this online for sure. But I just want to give my thoughts on it, show it off a little bit up close like I did. And I'm not going to build this guy right away. I actually have a Sekhmet Terminator partially under construction and going to be something I work on. But this will probably be something I work on alongside of it once I get the shipment of shoulder pads I ordered from a third party maker of shoulder pads on Shapeways. Once I get that, then I'm going to start this guy proper. But I like the Primaris Captain model. I want to get the Librarian model because I think it looks cool. And as I said in that image ramble, I really like the Chaplain model a lot. Looking forward to that. But I'm digging the Primaris, to be honest. makes me curious how they're going to go about standard intercessors, for example, because I do believe we'll get a kit for them. Is their shin armor going to be separate? Because if their shin armor is also separate from their legs, like it is here, then I think there's a very real possibility we might see Primaris chapter upgrade bits, and including a shin armor bit with a Dark Angel symbol or a Ultramarine symbol or what have you. So I don't know. It just seems like an odd thing to have separate like that, unless there is the potential for that to happen in the future. Anyways, that's it. I've been rambling on here. Thanks for sticking through it. Any question, comments, or requests, leave it in the comments section. And yeah, I would say if you want a Primaris HQ, this is a good one to get. There is the other Primaris Captain I'm going to figure out how to get. It's a GW birthday store model. He's got a plasma pistol and a power fist, which shows more versatility in the loadout. Plus we got the Captain and Gravis armor, which shows yet more versatility in loadout. So I'm really curious to see the complete shebang, if you will, of the options that the Primaris HQs will get. And I just got to figure out a way to get that Primaris model from a GW store, because I don't know of one near me. And I don't want to drive 2 hours for a model, to be honest. So I gotta see if I can figure out a way to get it off the interwebs or something. I don't know, I'll figure something out. Anyways, that's it. So thanks for sticking through it. Again, any question, comments, or requests, leave it in the comments section. And share your thoughts if you have this model. And until the next one, take it easy.